Hello everyone. I'm going to go over the reopen plan and the outdoor worship service plan. We're going to talk about 6 things today: what to expect for outdoor worship, what you should bring to outdoor worship. We'll talk about Appendix A, which is everything you need to know before you arrive. Appendix B, which is be mindful, the expectations we have as congregates at OBUMC. And Appendix J, which is registering to attend the worship service. It takes you through the process to go online and register that you're going to attend. And lastly, we'll cover a few things in the reopen plan itself. So what should we expect at the outdoor worship? We do want to tell everyone the Facebook Live broadcast of the services will continue. This will be something in addition that will be happening on Sunday mornings. Do not register to attend this event if you cannot wear a mask for the entire time. The technical assistance manual requires that anyone that comes to the church property, either inside or outside, needs to wear a mask at all times. The CDC strongly advises that children under 2 should not wear a mask. For this reason, children under 2 should not attend outdoor worship at this time. Please do not attend the worship if you have pre-existing conditions or at high risk or fall into a high-risk category. Safety of our congregants is the highest priority. We're using an online registration system. The reason we're doing that is to make the check-in quicker and to also know how many congregates we should expect at the service. Pastor Burton will be standing in the pavilion. Outdoor speakers will be set up so you'll be able to hear them. And the worship service should last about 45 minutes. But please make sure you dress for the weather. And the congregation will be seated in the field. Circles have been painted on the grass so you'll know where to sit. Each circle can comfortably fit 4 or 5 chairs. Chairs will not be provided, however. You need to bring those from your house, and blankets are okay if you don't have any folding chairs. The edge of each circle is 6 feet from any other circle, so we can make sure that we're maintaining that social distancing. So what should you expect during the parking? We will have greeters in the parking lot that will direct you where to park. The reason for this is the TAM requires an empty parking space on each side of a vehicle. Be sure you wear your mask at all times while you're in the parking lot once you get out of your car. Please make sure you refer to Appendix A that discusses this. Unload your chairs and make your way to the check-in table, and please make sure you maintain 6 feet of social distancing. Our parking lot greeters will point you to where the check-in table is. The check-in table will be located near the entrance to the church. Parking lot greeters will direct you to the check-in table. By registering your attendance in advance, we hope that the check-in process will go more quickly. When you arrive at the check-in table, tell the greeter your last name. You will have a QR code on your invitation. That is not needed at this time. The greeter will ask you to affirm the health acknowledgement poster for everyone in your group. Your group will then be directed to the grass field and an empty circle. This is a picture of the health acknowledgement poster. You should also be able to access this on our reopen plan webpage on the church website. So what should you expect when you arrive at the check-in table? The greeter will ask you, can you affirm the following is true for your family? Pointing to the poster. And the family should say yes. We affirm everything on the health acknowledgement graphic is true. When you're seated in the grass, 2 greeters will be out in the grass to direct you to the circle that you'll be sitting in. The greeters will begin filling the circle starting nearest the pavilion and moving backwards. A total of 30 circles are available, and each one can accommodate 4 or 5 chairs. Some of the larger circles will have set aside can accommodate up to 7 chairs. Please do not shake hands or touch other congregants while you're making your way to the grass or before the service starts. This is a map of where the circles are in the field. You'll notice under the pavilion is where Pastor Burton will be, and the check-in table is going to be located near the entrance. During the service, Pastor Burton will have a microphone and the speakers will be set up. The worship service should last about 45 minutes. When applicable, special instructions for communion will be told to you during the service. And an offering will be collected at the end of the service as you leave. We will have a container for you to place your offering in. A couple pieces of additional information. The UMC Technical Assistance Manual does not allow any singing by the congregation at this time. If needed, people can use the lobby bathroom, one person at a time, but we do ask you to use the restroom before you come. That's in Appendix A. Greeters will dismiss the group starting at the back of the field and moving their way forward. And we will have an FM transmitter to broadcast the service so congregants can choose to stay in their car and listen to the service on the radio. The parking lot greeters will be able to tell you which FM station to use when you arrive at the church. A couple things to remember to bring with you for the outdoor worship service. Everyone should bring and wear a mask at all times. Bring chairs or a blanket to sit on. Clothing that's appropriate for the weather, so make sure you check to see what the temperature is going to be. And sunglasses or a hat if it's going to be sunny. So a few things we need to talk about are Appendix A and Appendix B. I'll talk about Appendix A now. That is all I need to know before I arrive. This document was designed to summarize the actions you need to know before you leave your home and plan to enter Old Bridge United Methodist Church or our properties. Appendix A summarizes all of the Stage 2 COVID-19 requirements set forth by both the governor and the bishop in order to safely begin certain church-related in-person gatherings. Appendix A is appropriate also for small group meetings, other worship events, or other kinds of gatherings on Old Bridge UMC property. So, the first 4 things to remember with Appendix A. Always take your temperature before you leave the house. You need to be under 104 degrees Fahrenheit. Please stay home if you have a fever. Bring a mask and sanitizer. That's for you to use while you're on the property. Review the health acknowledgement poster and know that you'll be asked to affirm that when you arrive. And please make sure you register beforehand. We know that normally registration is not something you do to attend worship, but we're asking everyone to do that so that it helps us with contact tracing if we have someone that later develops symptoms. It also lets us know how large of a crowd to expect for the service. Number 6, make sure you follow the 6-foot distancing, social distancing rule. That's for everyone's protection. We like to think of it this way. You might not know if a person is caring for someone at home that may have a high-risk category or may have pre-existing conditions. So we want to assume a safe stance and make sure we stay away from folks at least 6 feet. Please go to the bathroom before you arrive. That's going to help us maintain social distancing inside the building. And make sure that you pay attention to all the different symptoms you could have. A cough, shortness of breath, difficulty breathing, fatigue, sore throat, headache, muscle pains. Those are some of the first signs that let you know you may have COVID-19. So now I'll talk about Appendix B, which is be mindful. This is what we are asking our congregants to do while they're on our property. I like to start this by reminding everyone of the scripture, be devoted to one another in love. Honor one another above yourselves. That's Romans 12:20. So this document, Appendix B, is designed to provide an overview of how we all can be mindful of others. It's also appropriate for small group meetings, worship events, or other gatherings on Old Bridge property. Please be mindful of others while you're at Old Bridge United Methodist Church. If we do this, we can all help each other get through these difficult times. So, we want to ask everyone to be mindful of the 6-foot distancing rule. You'll hear this a lot in our documents. That's for everyone's safety and protection. Please wear a mask at all times and keep both your mouth and your nose covered. Also, be mindful of your words. Use a kind tone and have patience with others. During these stressful times, folks are getting adjusted to things, and this may be one of the first times that people have ventured outside into a large group. So be mindful that they might be nervous about this. And please refrain from any physical contact. We ask that you do not hug, touch, or shake hands with others, even if you know the person. This is really important that we follow this. Even if we really know someone, we just want to be careful. Please be mindful that folks are dealing with stress and that everyone deals with these in different ways. We ask that you talk with folks, though. Ask them how they're doing and actively listen to how they're coping with COVID-19. Be mindful of limiting touching surfaces. And then also, please make sure you're mindful of your health condition if you have any symptoms. So I'll talk about Appendix J real quick. That is going to be on our website. You can find it at oldbridgechurch.org/reopen. Appendix J is designed to lead you through the registration process. It's very simple to do. First, you're going to enter your first and last name. And then right underneath your first and last name will be line that you can click on, add a co-registrant. So this would be for your family members. So if you have 3 people to add, you'll just click on that 3 times and you'll type in the other person's name 3 times. Then you'll enter in 1 email, 1 phone number, and mailing address for your group, and then you'll click submit. It's that easy. A confirmation web page will then appear with a QR code on it, but we're not going to use that at this time. So you do not need to print out anything. We'll have your name in our registration. Be sure to read Appendix A and B, which can be found on the Reopen web page. So a couple things we'll talk about in the Reopen plan. Appendix C, if you're interested to see what our cleanup and close-up procedures are when groups come and have small groups inside of our church, you can find it there. Appendix D is if you want to request the use of an outside Old Bridge United Methodist, Appendix D is if you want to request to use an outside facility at our church. Appendix E is the emergency plan that we've developed in case we have a positive COVID-19 test of someone in our church or someone who visited our property. Appendix F is about finding your room, so you know where you're going to go and which room your small group will be meeting in. Appendix G is the greeter's responsibilities, where we describe the folks that will be helping you when you visit the church. Appendix H is to request the use of an inside Old Bridge United Methodist Church room. And Appendix I is the checklist we're using for outdoor worship services. So if you're interested in looking at any of this in more detail, you can. And also our main plan is there on the webpage as well. And the last is Appendix R. That is a blank roster we use. So when a group comes to visit the church, we ask that everyone registers with the group leader so we can have that information later if we need it for contract tracing. That's the end of the presentation. We're excited to see you at worship. And if you have any questions, please call the church office or send us an email at Old Bridge United Methodist Church. Thank you.